Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Pull Up Trade Podcast, the podcast co hosted by myself, Samson Folk, and of course, joined by the Trevon Heath that pulls up, and joined by my partner in crime in the Calgary Vlogs, or I was probably his partner in crime in the Calgary Vlogs, but the producer of this podcast, mostly in title rather than in activity, is
Yeah.
Fandy Arberhani. We're here
Yeah.
to talk about the Raptors awards draft. We do this every year. We choose awards that we think they could potentially win. It's been really bad the past couple of years because they've actually had no awards. So we're batting zero for everything. This might be a year where they
Yeah.
win something. There's real
Yeah.
potential. Trey, we haven't talked to you in a while. How you feeling? And for all the new subscribers who like the vlogs, this is Trey. He co-hosts a large majority of the podcasts on this
Yeah.
here platform.
You will be seeing
Yeah.
him often. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I hope so, but I'm doing good. I like seeing. I felt like the Squidward meme, just watching you guys have your little
Oh, yeah.
bromance, do your little thing, as I'm
Mhm.
just slaving away under the man. But I'm doing good. I'm ready for the season. I'm ready for them to stop playing in the West Coast though. But
Yeah, these games are late, man. Just so everybody knows, S will have coverage. You would have seen it already of the game tonight against Sacramento, but this was recorded before the Sacramento game
Yes.
because we don't want to record a podcast at midnight. S, anything quickly before we move on to the actual draft?
I hate to be that schlub that always does this. Like, comment, subscribe, do the things you guys do to make sure. Yeah, man. Thank you very much. Just here for the plugs.
Hype the
Yeah.
video. This is a
Hype
new
the video.
feature.
yeah,
Mhm.
Give it. I
Oh.
bet you're not even using your hype points,
Please.
but they're valuable. We appreciate them. And also, we have exciting news coming up that might allow you to get to a Raptors game just because you're a listener to this podcast. So stay tuned with us. As I said, like everything, it's the awards draft. Now, everything is in play here, basically. All the awards. There's the social media or social justice award.
Social
Yeah.
media award
Social
goes to
media award.
Anthony Edwards.
There's a social justice award, there's a citizenship award, there's a teammate award. The NBA gives these out. These are in play for us.
Mhm.
And there's all NBA selections, all defense, MVP, whatever you want. We're going to start with you, Trey. We're each making 3 selections, so 9 awards we're predicting that will be handed out to Raptors this season. What is your opening selection for this team?
I'm gonna start. I'm gonna go a little bolder. I'm gonna say Scottie Barnes, second team all defense.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say all NBA.
Yeah.
Oh,
You call yourself bold for that?
That wasn't bold.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
What?
How many all defensive teams does he have? He literally has none.
Okay, in the spirit of the podcast, give us the case.
I think he was playing at that level for the second half of the NBA season. You saw it in the first preseason game. Their defense is dependent upon his activity, the chaos that he brings, and that's going to lead to stocks. That's going to lead to the Raptors' defense on and offs being really having big swings with him on the court. You kind of saw that last year too. And I think the Raptors defense is going to be like a top 15 defense in the NBA, just based on the way that they play, the way that they create turnovers, and he's going to get the credit for it, which is deserved.
Just to bolster your point over there, the Raptors last season were better at forcing misses with Scottie on the court. They were better at rebounding the ball with Scottie on the court. They were better at turning teams over with Scottie on the court. They were better at not fouling with Scottie on the court. All the on-offs love him defensively. All the impact metrics love him defensively. He gets a bunch of stocks. His impact is seen not just in the eye test, where if you want film reviews of Scottie's defense, you can find it on this channel here, going piece by piece, why he fits in their scheme and why he improves it. But the catch-all stats, the classic stats, all of it loves Scottie Barnes as a defender. This, I don't know if this is the most likely one, because there's kind of a collinearity here that if he gets all team second, if he makes the all defense team, the second version of it, then he's probably an all-star.
You know what? I'm
But-
going to bail you out here. It is kind of a mouthful to do the all defensive second team thing. Yeah, I hear you.
Mamu Kalashvili, I can get that, but I can't get all NBA second team defense. I don't even know if I sequenced that correctly. S, are you for or against this selection?
Oh yeah, I'm for it. Yeah, I think this is totally feasible, especially if the Raptors expect to be as good on defense as they want to be. The top 15 defensive efficiency, defensive rating, I could see that happening. Scottie will be a big catalyst to that. I remember last year I looked this up, but he was one of 9 players to average a steal and a block per game. And basically every single one of those 9 players, even though it's just a very bare bones stat, every single one of those 9 players is like either a perennial defensive player of the year candidate, has won a defensive player of the year before, or a pretty consistent all defense member. So that's the level of player that Scottie is on that end.
Also, and I know nobody's gonna have heard this stat before, but there's 2 players in history of the NBA through their first 4 seasons who have averaged 15, 5, and 5 with 1 steal and 1 block. It's
Oh.
Michael Jordan and it's Scottie Barnes. I'm gonna take the second award.
All right.
There's an easy one to take with Brandon Ingram, but for the sake of everything going on here, there's only so many selections. Clutch Player of the Year. This
wow.
seems
Oh,
like
like
that could
this.
happen. So
yeah.
I'll lay out why I think this could happen. 1, the opportunities will be there.
Mhm.
2, we know that clutch shooting is some of it is a function of how you score. And a guy like DeMar had terrible clutch shooting seasons and then had great ones. Sometimes it's just a function of it swinging back in your favor. If there's stats that say Ingram is bad, maybe it swings back. If there's stats that say he's good, then it stays the same. Only optimism over here. But his shot making kit is incredibly vast. He can get a shot off comfortably in a lot of different types. He'll get the possessions. The Raptors probably are going to be in a lot of close games because they're scrappy as hell. And they need to win. They're going to play guys. They're going to go for it. I think that this is like huge opportunity meets potential. And of course, there's potential for all-star status and stuff with Brandon. But Clutch Player of the Year, I think, would be a really fun one and would kind of deliver on how people saw Brandon's skill set fitting with the Raptors. Clutch Player of the Year, I think, would be an absolute blast. You guys
We were
had
just
my
commending
audio. I
you
can
for
make the
Yeah, we were just commending you for your clutch player of the year choice because that wasn't even in my brain as an option. But yeah, just bravo. That's good stuff. That's good stuff right there.
This is entirely too much gas for an award
Hey,
selection.
man.
We have to even it out and go to Trey. What do you think of this selection, Brandon Ingram, Clutch Player of the Year?
I think it's super possible. I think especially like how you saw how their clutch minutes went. Like the Raptors just there's a humongous void for someone that can handle the ball and score within tight spaces. So he's going to get a bulk load of those possessions. And if you think the Raptors are going to win a lot of games, he's going to help them win those games in the fourth quarter. So it's very possible.
Hell yeah. S, what's the third selection here?
I feel like I'm probably going to be conventional compared to your picks, you and Trey's picks. I'm going to go with Brandon Ingram All-Star selection because I
Okay.
think that's a very narrative-based selection in the first place. It only happens for the first half-ish of the season, like 30, 35 games until votes are submitted. So hopefully, BI has a solid, strong start 35 games into the year. And I also think there is some points per game bias when it comes to all-stars. And with BI, if you look at him over the last basically 4, 5, 6 seasons of his career, he's been a 20-plus point per game scorer. If he is again a 20-plus point per game scorer for the Raptors and they're winning and he's healthy and he's playing games, and I think the assists will probably go up just by the process of this Raptors team, as we've talked about in the past, being an assist farm. I'm going to go ahead and say Brandon Ingram, All-Star. I feel like that's an easy one.
Can I put you on the spot for this? Not choosing Scottie as an all-star before Brandon.
Yes.
If Scottie had not scored 1 point in a preseason game, would you have gone Scottie? That's what I'm wondering.
It's a fair question. Honestly, it is. Maybe, perhaps. Yeah. I think that does impact it a little bit. But I think even generally, if there is love for this Raptors team 40 games in, people will look and say, well, Brandon Ingram is on this Toronto Raptors team. That is clearly why they're doing as well as we hoped. And so I think narratives kind of drive towards BI versus Scottie when it comes to all-star stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think it's a pretty easy case to make. As you said, the narrative base. There's potential. The Raptors, they're gunning for like a top 6 seed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's potential, not really for a top 6 seed that isn't super top heavy to have 2 all-stars, but I mean it potentially could be there. Brandon, if he's healthy, I mean, the motion would be going his way because
Yeah.
it's what, as you said, it's what's changed. And there could be a real thing where there's like the Franz versus Paolo kind of thing here, where it's like Paolo has more of the scoring, he's a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. Scottie and Franz are the guys who clearly have the leg up in the impact metrics. It might bear out, of course, not a one-to-one comparison, but it might
Yeah.
bear out like that, where
Mhm.
Franz, for Orlando fans say he's the guy.
Yeah.
And national media looks at Paolo and dubs him as like, that's the guy, except for some avant-garde or like offbeat stuff. But Ingram, I mean, we've all talked about and done work about
Yeah.
why he could play well here and why the platform is here. He scored 4 points off cuts in game 1 of the preseason. He was floating and formed up for a 3. Just the theory and the hypothesis of how this might meld and work. You could see, I guess, proof of concept.
Mhm.
Trey, where are you on all this?
I think it's super possible. Like, I don't think the Raptors will get 2 all-stars, which is why I picked Scottie All-Defense. Typically, the all-star just goes to the best scoring player on the team, whoever averages the most points, and I think that's going to be BI this season, and he'll get credit for the win jump that they're likely going to see.
I just hope Alperen Şengün isn't there, man. That's
he's
Perennial.
gonna
Perennial.
listen. If they're doing international versus US, that
Woo.
whole thing that changes the dynamic a little bit.
I watched that man go band for band with Giannis Antetokounmpo, one of the best players in the world. Some people say.
Dude, the advertising brain, the marketing brain is so funny, man. Well, this is Serpentine, I think. So we're coming back to you, Trey. You got to pick another award.
I'm gonna go a little unconventional. I'm gonna say Darko Rajakovic, Coach of the Year.
Dude, I'm loving these hot takes, man.
For number 2. There's a
I
good
love-
chance, if we think they're as good as they're going to be, that means they're going to have a significant game jump. So that's anywhere between 13 to maybe 17 games in terms of jumping. So he's going to be a candidate. The Raptors have increased in their talent, and honestly, in terms of like their win production, because of their injury luck, they could have squeezed anywhere between like 37 to like 40 games last season. So I think he's going to get credit for obviously the win jump and how the team has improved post like their rebuild era. And it's, I think in terms of teams, they're going to be probably in the top 3 in terms of improvement from last year to this year.
Okay. I'll also point out, so for new listeners and people who don't understand the terminology I'm about to use, stick with us throughout the season. I will explain these concepts more in depth. But Darko is a guy who plays a future-facing style of basketball. That's what he asks of his team. As Trey lays out, a huge win jump. People start looking at players, yes, but they always look at the coach. Not only is Darko running a tag up scheme, which is there was like only 6 teams that did it in the NBA last year. It's cutting edge. It's one of the highest pressing teams. They were 4th in ball pressure last year. They might even jump higher this year. They're a team that plays into the turnover differential. They're a team that their expected field goal percentage is really high because they shoot, quote unquote, from the right places. They pass a lot. His sets are a huge part of the offense. They build out advantages for their players. If the Raptors are good, and it might be led by this podcast, but pundits are going to start pointing out how Darko's fingerprints are over everything. It's always on players, of course.
Yep.
But I agree with you, Trey. There's a real potential for this if the Raptors are good. And if they're that a little bit better than like the modest expectations, he'll be in play there. S, you said you love the hot take. How come?
The only reason, because like the Athletic did a thing a couple of years ago, and they did it last season, where it was like, what coach would you like to play for? And he was near the bottom of the league. And I think that was unfair to have him near the bottom of the league.
Bro, it's because they didn't know who he was.
Yeah, they're like, who is this
100%.
dude?
I agree. That's why it's a hot take, because I think it's part of like, okay, who gets attributed for the success of this team immediately? I think people will think of the players more than the coach. That being said, if there is a 13 win jump, if there's like a 17 win jump, he's going to be in the conversation for it. You think of like Orlando last year with Jamal Mosley. I think Jamal Mosley ended up either top 3, I want to say. Detroit is another one last year with JB Bickerstaff, where he went from a losing situation, not a losing situation, but a situation where he lost his job in Cleveland to go to Detroit, flip that team around. That was, again, narrative-based voting is something that's intriguing here. For Darko, the narrative is people didn't think you were that good of a coach. Now you're proving them wrong. And that's why, he might get some awards. That's not necessarily a hot take. It's just like, it's hard to see the jump there, but it could possibly happen.
That's pretty good color background as well too, because he was the second European-born head coach ever hired in the NBA.
Mhm.
This is not, and like, not to mention the politics of like how much of America is like, get out of my country. So there's like there's natural pushback for many different people to like, what, this guy from Serbia? Well, that's not how NBA players talk, but you get my meaning. But there is definitely like overcoming it in the international city of Toronto. I see that as well. We're going back to you, brother.
Yeah, man.
What's it gonna be?
So I think this is one that could viably happen too. Colin Murray-Boyle's all rookie first team.
Ooh,
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's an opportunity thing. It's clear that they're going to have him in the rotation in some capacity, at least to start the year. I think he will earn his keep as the year progresses. I think the advanced numbers, even though they don't love rookies in general, will probably favor him a little bit. I think he will get some cool box scores that will be on NBA Centel and Central, where it's like Colin Murray-Boyles just had 5 steals, 5 blocks in a game. Holy, like that type of stuff sort of matters for these type of things in terms of other people paying attention to you. And ultimately, I just think he will be an impact player on a team that's trying to win. That will get him all rookie votes. So Colin Murray-Boyles, all rookie, first team.
He's the box score numbers. He's going to have like the stat sheet stuff.
Yeah.
In the same way we made that prediction last year, like maybe Jonathan Mobo could sneak on to all rookie second team or something because but he didn't get enough playing time. It just didn't work out that way. CMB definitely has a roadmap to this.
Mm-hmm.
And he has looked really good. He looked great at training camp. Everybody's constantly talking about him. People were wondering if he might be a guy. I think actually, when you did your projected rotation, you left him out of the top 10 initially, right? When you mapped it all out.
Yep.
Probably how training camp went. If you could change it, would you?
100%. Yeah. Because it feels solidified a little bit, right?
He has asserted himself, his physicality, which is a huge part of adjusting the NBA. He's talking crazy to the vets, man. He's like, you're in my world, buddy. You don't have a shot, dude. Get out of here. RJ's talking about like, you have to escape him. Get away. Scottie is clearly frustrated. So the hope is that he's able to, put that onto other players around the league. And as he said, improve his teammates. I've obviously huge CMB booster. The video of us reacting to him getting drafted. I did a lot of work on CMB. He was a top 5 player in the draft for me. I love him as a first team all rookie player. If the opportunity is there for minutes, I think he can do it quite handily. Trey. It's not Derek Queen, but he's a fun big boy,
He's good. I only had him a few spots lower than you.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, right?
I'm like, I'm not as high as you. I have him like 7. I think he's just like in the exercise we had, like with the tiers, like he's too good defensively not to play. And he fits what they're trying to do, especially out of their bigs. He can make all of the reads from the mid post. He's actually, I was very surprised of how willing of a driver he was in that preseason game and how he utilized his quickness and his dribble to get around and be a really good mover. If that translates in the regular season, they're going to find a way in order for him to play minutes. He'll be able to play with Scottie. He'll be able to play with Jakob. And I think in terms of rookies, typically like defensively is the reason why their impact stats just aren't very good. It's hard to keep them on the floor, but he's going to be led with defense. And oftentimes I think the Raptors bench is going to be one of the best in the NBA. And I think it's going to be led by him being great defensively.
I love that. Nice.
That's some gas, dude. I started getting a little goosebumpies on that one, man. I'm not sure if I buy it, but I like the sell, dude. There was some heart in there.
I'll
Yeah,
I'll
he's
add to
good.
this all rookie case, by the way. So like Cooper, yeah, Dylan Harper might be able to, although we'll see how the minutes shake out for the Spurs. Trey Johnson, I think in Washington has a good chance. But after that, it feels pretty open. You know what I mean? For guys who opportunity wise, playing time wise, usage, etc. That's why I think CMB makes sense for all rookie first team.
Yeah. And also, even as someone who gasses his driving and really likes it, we do need to see it against someone who isn't Nikola Jokic. Like
Yeah.
I need it so bad against someone who's not Nikola Jokic. And I think he's going to take threes this year too, which creates a big swing factor because the fact that the Raptors are asking him to take threes, I think speaks to the fact that they intend for him to play quite a bit. Jonathan Mobo wasn't taking that many threes. They're like, listen, J-Mo, it might not be your year. Work on it quietly and try and work on some other things. And also, CMB is actually quite excellent at running through delay actions and a lot of the above the break handoff stuff. The swim move with the ball in hand and then advance it further down the line and then go impromptu do another screen, like that type of dynamic playmaking. He's outside of Jakob, probably the best on the roster at it. So there's a lot of avenues for him to find impact. I'll go. It's crazy that this is selection number 6 in this draft, but Scottie Barnes, All-Star. Listen, the 1-point game, I hated watching how he operated offensively in the first preseason game. Fingers crossed in 3 hours when they play Sacramento, it goes better. But I'll say this. I spent way too much time hypothesizing on how Scottie can use his skills and be properly cemented in this team and how that can be massive impact to give up on it after, a 1-point game in the preseason where for all intents and purposes, I think he was just kind of screwing around. Just everything was a jumper because there's 2 ways to do this, man. I mean, Scottie's been an all-star in the past. He's clearly a very strong defender. He clearly has a lot of utility on offense if implemented properly. There's 2 paths. One, he can try and rely solely on being like a finesse wing as if he were Paul George or something like that, which is kind of what he gets into sometimes, which he shouldn't be doing. Or he can mix in the finesse sometimes and rely on physicality a little bit more, be an impact offensive player and do a little bit more of the dirty work and return to all-star status. I'm an optimist. You have to hope that he's going to do the things that will support his team, help his team, and help himself. Not just be a guy who takes fadeaway middies. I refuse to be that cynical to think that it's going that way. He's been an all-star before. It's not crazy to think he's better now defensively. It's not crazy to think he might get there. Yeah. It's 1-point game. Nobody likes it. It's preseason, though. I don't want to totally let him off the hook because people went to Vancouver excited to watch him play, and he did that. But, I think he could make an all-star game. Fellas, do I have the support?
I think if he doesn't make the all-star team, like it's a disappointment. Based on just how the East is in terms of their forwards, you have guys like Jason Tatum that aren't even going to be there, so just free spots available.
Yep.
And if the Raptors are going to be good, it's going to be led by his impact. He has to at least be in a position where the Raptors are so good, we only can reward one of these guys, and he gets left off just because they give it to Brandon Ingram.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's kind of how I think it's going to go. But in terms, I'm not worried about his overall scoring just because the Raptors are going to create lots of turnovers. He's going to be led with that. He's going to get much easier buckets, and it won't have to rely on the midi jumpers. It's just preseason. I'm taking it lightly, but I think he's going to be. He's going to. I know ESPN put him as the 30th best player in the NBA. I think he's actually going to earn that spot this season.
Well, if I can just double down on this too, for listeners, Trey dislocated his ankle, and when we were in Las Vegas. He said, I asked him beforehand, it was his first time returning to the court because we were going to the Tarkanian runs. And I remember him saying, like, yeah, I'm just going to take it easy, man. I'm just going to get some shots up. And this is Trey. He's a good basketball player, but he's just a guy who plays with his friends. The competition, the spirit of the game caught him within 14 seconds. I was on the opposite team. I saw him get the ball. and I was like, okay, he's gonna put a jumper up because he told me he's gonna take it easy. I saw him pump, throw ahead, dribble, gather, and crash into like 3 guys fresh off a dislocated ankle. I mean,
Special.
if Trey can do it, Scottie can reincorporate that physicality. Like, I believe in him, man.
Yeah, there's that video going around of Scottie versus Sabonis and him taking him off the dribble and attacking and then finishing left through contact.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
He would
I don't
do
know
that
why.
he would do that to Sabonis this year too.
You should
He's
do
just
that
not
to Sabonis tonight.
well, he's
know?
just not guarded by Sabonis anymore. Is the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that
Like,
is true.
is
Yeah.
well, vaunted perimeter defender Domantas Sabonis.
Look at him move.
Yeah, and even still, he didn't blow by him. It was a contested layup at the rim.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he could manage it this year, I'm sure.
Yeah. I agree with you guys, by the way, for the most part, on like Scottie being able to figure this out. I think in general, if you look at the first preseason game, there's the starters, even though we didn't get to see the starters fully with Jakob, they kind of looked out of whack. They were trying to figure out where everybody was going to be positioned. And I think Scottie did not stand to benefit from that specific situation, like the screening and figuring out where to be in certain actions. It just wasn't there. That's why they play preseason games.
Please put please screen.
Yeah.
Put a
Yeah, man. I know. That's actually probably one of them. I know Samson's tweeted about this too, but like the screening just to kind of slip and get middle, that has to change. Laying someone out is something that Scottie needs to do. He has to be a physical player, both on and off the ball. That's the way Scottie becomes a successful offensive player.
And also,
I
sometimes
believe
you
he's
can
capable.
slip.
Sometimes
You can slip.
Yes,
but they're
not every time.
really it can't be every time. Yeah. It's especially if you're not slipping south or north to the 3-point line. Like, it's
a tool in the toolbox. It's not the toolbox, like you have to be able to do a bunch of different things.
When the Raptors earn the right for teams to pick them up high, maybe he can slip a screen. But then at no point is anyone slipping. Anyone stepping up on an RJ Barrett pick and roll possession. Please screen.
That's such a good point too. Yeah, because the screens that he's slipping are with Brandon Ingram, who has gravity, who is obviously a very strong scorer, but this isn't Tyrese Halliburton getting blitzed 29 feet from the rim and the slip is like, wow, the seas have parted.
Gravity.
This is 22 feet from the rim and it's still kind of clogged. And the way to unclog it sometimes is get that body on someone, make something happen. Scottie Barnes All-Star. I guess it goes back to me again, and I'll leave some room. Citizenship Award. For those who don't know, this is basically the Good Guy Award. And I, for the 3rd year in a row, will be selecting Garrett Temple for the Good Guy Award.
Okay.
This is the award for the guy who's part of the community, who's always doing things for the betterment of the locality that he occupies, all that kind of stuff. Garrett Temple has been like the man, the superstar human being since he stepped in. Everybody loves him. The team, the organization, the players, the coaches, the people around it. And of course, when podcasters, what's hagiography, the making of saints, when we participate in that because he donates to teachers unions, I mean, how can you not? We got to gas this guy, the Citizenship Award. Is anybody on this team to you guys in better running for the Good Guy Award, basically?
Better? No, but I think Jamal has a decent shot at this.
No way. No way.
Well, how are you going to debate this? What is the debate about?
Nobody on the Minnesota Timberwolves. You know who's a great guy? That Jamal Shed. He's a great dude. Not a soul knows him.
Oh, that's true. That's fair.
This is a joke for everybody listening, by the way. Jamal, as a final note, he comes across as like incredible. He has the same level of everybody loves him as Garrett does. He's just not been in the league for 7 years.
So this isn't the community assist award, right? I'm just clarifying. This is the teammate award that you have.
This is the citizenship award. This is the community.
This is the community.
Award.
Okay. Yeah. So I think Jamal got a chance at that. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean? Of course. Great guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Launchpad, man.
Sure. We'll see what happens.
Sure.
But Trey, I think it goes to you. The
Yeah.
eighth pick in the awards draft.
Just want to say the Jays are up 1-0. Vladimir Guerrero again.
Homer?
RBI
He hit a
single.
homer?
RBI single. RBI
yes.
single.
Okay. All right. Hell yeah.
So still counts the same.
That man hates the Yankees. Yeah. that man
This
hates
guy-
the Yankees more than anybody.
For a regional basketball podcast, the amount of Moneyball references myself and Trey go to it's sick,
Generation.
man. It's sick.
Oh my
Ooh, and Barger got a hit. So what is
Ooh.
it right now?
I think
Oh, it's the okay. It didn't end up happening. Anyway,
Yeah.
okay. Trey, your pick.
I'm gonna go another bold one. I'm going outside the NBA. I'm saying Ulrich Chomche, G League MVP.
Oh,
Ooh, I like that. I like that. All right.
Wait,
okay.
before you go on, does
Mhm.
his undisclosed injury status worry you at all?
I'm not a doctor, so but the worst thing I hate on Twitter is people that you see like Alex MD. He's done for 6 months, but when you look at the footage, it looks like his leg snapped in half. He's finished. I hate that. Absolutely.
Well, the thing, and just I don't know what the motive is for it other than like the attention economy. But we have doctor friends who, you ask them like, well, what do you think? And they'd be like, well, I'd have to assess the person to actually say. But there's a lot of people who are like, I do my assessing from the computer screen actually, and I'm going to do it. But it doesn't make sense to me because you're just like assessing it through video just so people can like react and talk about it.
Yeah.
And no, like you might be a doctor, but nobody here is a doctor. And it's just like,
Also, does that provide you with business? Like, if you're a physiotherapist who's like, yeah, he popped his Achilles right there. Does that
this
include
assessment is brought to
revenue?
you by DraftKings.
I think it does because people, I know in like at least the football sense, like
Mm-hmm.
people will have like, you can pay for like assessments. So it helps you out in fantasy football. They're like, he's going to be gone for 3 weeks.
Oh,
You better
wow.
prepare, stuff like that.
Also,
That's crazy.
Trey and I wouldn't know about this because we don't pay for Twitter verification, but there might there might be a benefit to the amount of money you get for like let's say Kyrie tears his ACL. There's a video and you go, yeah, I'm a doctor. I think he tore his ACL, and you get like $6 for posting that. Yeah.
Oh, just like
5,000 likes.
in the finals, they're like, I think Tyrese Halliburton's very hurt.
Yeah.
Just like 80 tweets.
Thanks.
Like, all right, thanks, brother.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait. Sorry. Make the case.
Yeah,
Or
Ulrich.
Chomche.
I don't think he's gonna get a lot of NBA minutes. I'm just gonna assume that he's gonna play in the G League. I think there's a really good chance, a very high chance, he leads the G League in blocks. The Raptors are gonna have you're gonna have a bunch of young guys come up and down that roster throughout the whole year. So I think their G League team's gonna be very good too. And you kind of see things coming together for him. And Summer League was a humongous success for him, especially in terms of his timing and pacing, especially offensively. His physical tools are far greater than the large majority of the G League, and I think that's going to pop out, allow him to play a lot faster, and the numbers should follow.
And also, I'll let S finish right after I say this, but
Yep.
the G League season starts later. He has time to sort out his undisclosed injury. But
Yep.
S, you're the closest to Ulrich. You cover him as part of your work with the 905 quite closely. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, that would be awesome. I think he was already one of the best defensive players last year in the G League from what I watched. It's all about the offense for him and touch and feel. I also think there will be better guards this season for the 905. Chucky Hepburn will be playing for the 905. Elijah Martin will be playing for the 905. AJ might be playing for the 905. We'll see. I think that will help set him up a little bit more for lob situations to finish in and around the basket more. He's working with Serge Ibaka. It seems like he's working on his touch and feel. That would be cool. Yeah, I think there's a pretty good case for this to happen. Ulrich to get MVP.
Just one thing before we move to your final selection, S. Have we not, just as like a community of Raptors analysts, fans, been saying that the guard play at the 905 was going to be like quote unquote good this year for 4 years?
Yeah, because you know what it was? Like we expected Jamal Shed to play more minutes for the 905 this year,
That's
but
true.
they got
Yeah.
really hurt, and so he got thrusted into the actual
Greatest
Raptors
Raptor of all
rotation.
time, Marquise Noel.
Yeah.
He also fits there too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's one of those things where the team was bad enough where they could filter through 905 guys. But I think the fact that they are trying to win this year means there would be less volatility to the team. Usually the good G League teams are the ones that aren't constantly changing and switching up their roster. So it's OKC is really good typically. Cleveland is really good typically. Like those are teams that don't need G League guys to come up to their roster, you know?
Also, Jeff Doughton, Javon Freeman Liberty. Those were two of like the better.
Sick guards. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
these are great G League guards. But I don't watch enough of the 905 to really know. What is your final suggestion, man? What's the last pick of this awards
Yeah.
draft?
This is a fun one. I'm just gonna throw it out there just to kind of get the ball rolling. 6th man of the year, Gradey Dick.
Mm.
Yeah, because I think again, scoring big part of this. And if Gradey has a good shooting year, you know, Malik Beasley was a part of the conversation last year for 6th man of the year just because he shot the absolute lights out. If Gradey has a really good shooting year, which by the way did not happen in his first preseason game, I'm also chalking that up to he will be okay offensively. Yeah, if he just shoots the ball well and he averages like 12 points off of the bench or like 13, 14 points off of the bench just because he's shooting well, really big boost on the offensive end for this team. I could see 6th man of the year for Gradey Dick. Although I feel like you can pick out a couple of different 6th man of the year candidates for this Raptors team, but I think Grady's the most likely just because 3-point shooting means more points potentially. So
November 30th, the Raptors play the Knicks. The last time I spoke to Mike Brown, he floated Gradey as the leader of the most improved player race.
he did, yes,
And that gave him some motion. November 30th, I need Mike Brown to put Grady's name out there for 6th man of the year just to get people talking about it, to get a little motion.
yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I look at this team and I don't see a 6th man of the year on this team. I don't see that. Gradey, even if he has a good year, I like a
Mhm.
good year for our I guess taste, and we like Gradey.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one to
Mm.
win.
Yeah.
This is probably the biggest, but we're at number 9.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's time to stretch.
Can I give you the other one I had considered on top of this? It was RJ Barrett most improved. But we also said that last year.
Yeah.
And
He
would have to be efficient in scoring and maybe be second in the team in scoring. That was kind of my thought process. Is like maybe it's him and BI. That's the
I have a
process.
question. Has
Mhm.
anyone ever won most improved player while having a dip in their like slash line? Because he would have to do close to
Yeah.
21, 6, and 5.
Yeah.
And I understand that, like, I just wrote the piece the other day. I think, and RJ, his fit was very seamless in what they were doing in the first game of preseason.
For sure.
He helps a lot of what they want to do. He offensively papers over a lot of their weaknesses. But most improved would be like, he got to
It
go
would
for
be a lot.
24 or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Like if the shooting is better this year, so that helps. I don't know. Yeah.
It's number 9. It's
Yeah.
tough
Yeah.
to find the 9th
Yeah.
one outside of being like, oh, CMB second team all rookie, which is I think what we were having to do in past years. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah.
We're like, wow, I don't know what to pick. I think
We didn't pick an all NBA. I'm just thinking of this right now. We didn't pick an all NBA.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's tough.
It is tough. Yeah.
Although it's in play.
Yeah.
It's not out of play. It's in play.
Mhm.
But Trey, obviously, make the case for Gradey. Why you think? I spent too much time poo-pooing it. I just did. By the way, anybody listening, I did an interview with Gradey the other day. I like Grady's game a lot. I think he can have a good year. I believe in him as a player. But Trey, how do you feel about 6th man of the year?
I think there's a possibility he gets some buzz around it just because the Raptors swing numbers should swing upwards when he's on the court, just because he's essential to giving the entire team spacing. He's the best shooter on the team still, give or take with him or
Better
quick.
than
Are
Quickly?
we? I feel
I
like
would
Quickly is better.
This
man.
happened last year. Do
We
you
did
guys
the
remember?
same thing last year. Yeah.
I would say Gradey. just because Emmanuel quickly can't get off shots in the same
Dude,
vicinity.
he was one of the
Drake
best
can.
pull-up shooters in the league
Okay,
last year. Whatever.
so I feel
Can
like
you take a sidestep and hit a shot, please?
I feel like Bernie Sanders right now, man. Everything's changing around me. I'm staying in the same place. Last year, I said quickly, and you, along with me, Trey, were like, "It's obviously quickly,"
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and
And I
S
think
was
I
like
said Gradey.
Grady.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
now
yeah.
you two have flip flopped.
Yes, yeah.
Wow. I mean,
It's
I would
weird how
love if
stuff
it's Grady.
changes like that. It would be awesome if it was Grady, but I think you gotta trust the numbers that you've seen in Quickly. I don't know. Yeah, I think Quickly is the better shooter.
I feel like Gradey can get off far more shots in far different angles. He's taking significantly harder threes because he's willing to play within the flow of the offense.
Yeah,
So I think the numbers don't add enough color. But
Stop trying to fit out and fit in. Be part of something greater. You know what I mean?
But in terms of his 6-man possibility, he's going to be a part of the reason why I think the Raptors bench is going to be good. He's also going to get, I think, a few possessions where they throw him the ball and ask him to score. The Raptors have very few players that aren't flow players that can't actually take the ball and do something with it. So he's going to get that opportunity. And if he shoots a super high clip, if we see that 40 plus 3-point shooting season, I wouldn't be shocked if he averages just 16 off the bench and his impact numbers are really good because of the shooting jump he helps with the starters.
The offensive boost. That was my pitch. It's he can carry and lead an offense, so the swing there is higher.
What I urge people to look at when Grady's on the floor, see how many actions the Raptors involve him in. They basically involve him in everything because he drags and pulls the defense. He hasn't delivered with the percentages, but the league really views him as a very strong shooter, and it helps open up things for other players. As a viewer, that's a fun little thing you can pay attention to, but you can expect lots of breakdowns on this kind of stuff from the 3 men you're listening to here. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Of course, before you get out of here, hype the video. S, any thoughts before we get out?
No, I'm going to be that guy again. Like, comment, subscribe. No, nothing, man. It's good to do this every year. Hopefully we actually, some of these actually happen. That would be nice to finally have awards that we can track, because it's been tough the last couple of years to track this, because every year it's been no awards.
Okay. It has been tough. Trey, anything before we all get out of here to watch the Blue Jays?
I think this is the year we finally get one. If none of these hit, the Raptors probably sucked again. And if they suck again, it's going to be a bad time for us. So
especially since, because I see some fans say this is a good draft. If they suck, it's not so bad. No, it's bad, man.
Yeah,
it would be terrible.
Bad.
Yeah, it would be terrible.
So bad if they suck. That would be terrible. God.
It would be disastrous.
Because it's one of those things. If they suck, then it's not just they're tanking; they're trading a bunch of people. They're ripping this thing down to the studs.
This is if you see the cheese and there's a bit of mold on the outside, and you think, I'll just cut that off, and then the cheese is still good, but then you cut, and it's just more mold. The whole thing is mold. It's just none of it works.
They're at an inflection point, similar to Kyle and DeMar post Rudy Gay trade. If you suck during that stretch and period of time, they
Kyle
get traded
was off to New York. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We would have maybe bamboozled them again, but
we would be 3 seasons removed from evil Fred VanVleet is the ruiner of the team.
Yeah,
we'd be 2.5 seasons removed from Pascal is what's stopping Scottie, who just made an all-star game with him, from succeeding. We would be the rearview mirror, and not that those guys would have fixed the outlook of this team, but just that maybe the analysis of what was working on the team from higher ups or from wherever was not necessarily accurate. It'd be disheartening.
It'd be tough. There'd be a sweeping change, literally from president all the way down to man 15.
I'll tell you this much.
To be good.
It would be a bad year to be doing 2 podcasts a week on this team. It would be a bad year to be doing 2 podcasts a week on this team.
Yeah, I saw like ESPN had them predicted at 40 wins and the 9th seed. And I feel like that's low, man.
It's not good
feel
enough.
Well, that's
low.
much different than the 32 wins Vegas opened them at way back when.
Yeah,
there's
that's true.
been momentum around this team, and belief has piled on over time. And I just hope that gets rewarded. Trey, thank you for hopping on. I will see you in a few days. The very same. Love you, fellas. Listeners, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hype. We're going to have you supported this whole season. All the stuff you want to hear about the Raptors, all the in-depth analysis, all the news, we'll have it right here. Pull Up Trey Podcast. Thank you for tuning in, and whether you got into this in the morning or at night, have a blessed day. Leave your award selections in the comments, and goodbye.